Need some fast, cheap, reliable MUT coins? Go to MMOXP.com and use discount code MONEYSHOT for 5% off your order. Link in the description below. Welcome back, YouTubers and Madden fans. This is MADDENMONEYSHOT, sniffing out the Madden cheese as always. Got some more plays out of my Bucs playbook. I've been pushing this playbook for a little while. Put some plays out from it not too long ago out of the gun tight, which to me is probably one of the best formations. If you watch my gameplays or you follow my channel at all, you know I love the gun tight. I'm all about the gun tight. I'm all about that and the gun bunch. Obviously, these are some of the biggest, most popular formations going back a long time. But to me, without a doubt, the gun tight, especially with the patch that just came out when it comes to like cover 3 and cover 4, you can make some really explosive plays out of the gun tight. So I'm going to set my audibles. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put the Bucs seams in as one. I'm going to put the Bucs, the PA Bucs cross in as another. I'm going to put that in the X spot, and then I'll also put in the bench, which is to me a must play, a go-to play. And then the last play I'm going to put in is going to be the Bucs Z Spot. There's a very similar play in the Panthers playbook that's like this. I don't think necessarily you should be able to find, basically what I'm trying to say is you should be able to find a lot of these plays under a lot of different names and a lot of different tight formations. You don't necessarily have to have the gun tight. But I find the Buccaneers is one of the better ones as far as that goes. The Bucs seams, there's a couple of plays that look like the Bucs seams, but they're not. They don't have the exact same setup. So be aware of that. They don't necessarily run the exact same way. But that's pretty much the 3 plays that I'm going to pick. So let's go ahead and let's pick those first. And then the last play I'm going to pick is going to be the quick hook. We'll make that the play that I'm going to start running with. Before I start the video, though, I just want to thank my new sponsors at MMOXP.com. If you guys are looking to buy some coins for your MUT team, you can do that there, and you can support me by supporting them and buying your coins through them. And make sure to use discount code MONEYSHOT so they know that you came from my site, from my channel. Other than that, let's get into the video. So this first play that I got here, this is not necessarily, I'm not going to say which one of these is the best play. I typically try to give the best play first. But to me, they're all pretty equal. But this first play here would probably be best run against a cover 3, at least for the wheel route. What makes this formation different than a lot of tight formations is that a lot of tight formations, they took away the ability to motion the running back to the line. Like in the Saints playbook especially, I mean, there's some plays out of there that I really used to like to motion the running back to the line because he'd get open in the flats like right away for a big play. They took that away. This particular formation, they did not. You can see I can motion him to both sides, which is really nice because obviously that just gives me a lot of flexibility. You have a lot of flexibility to motion over receivers and to create a bunch set. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different things you can do with this formation that you can't do with other formations that are very similar. So be aware of that based off of whatever playbook that you're using. And I'm sure if I exploit this formation enough and people do this enough, they're going to take away this ability as well. But you can see the way that I have this set up, it's basically an empty bunch on one side, and it's going to be a tight formation on the other side. So if it's a cover 3, I typically motion running back out, and he'll get open in the flats right away. As you can see right here, the coverage pulls back. I just get a really easy catch and run. I'll be able to steal that all game against cover 3. So this play really has a lot of benefit, whether it's cover 3, cover 2. If I streak the X route, Perriman should get open against cover 3 or cover 2 because obviously Godwin there is going to pull coverage down in a cover 2 scenario. But ultimately, I mean, like I said, if I get that running back out wide like that, a lot of times these linebackers like to bump off receivers, and that's really what gets them open. If they weren't bumping off these receivers coming across their face, they probably would get out their coverage. You see right there, he bumps off the A route, just basically gives Jones a really big catch and run to the outside. So it's that animation that's really helping to do that, which is something that EA's added quite a bit, which can mess up other plays, but really works in your advantage here. So like I said, I'm going to streak the Y route, and you can see right here, he's going to get open outside of most coverages, so that makes this play pretty much a win-win on both sides. But you can see, I mean, this is a really consistent play. So like I said, just finishing this play off real quick. Like I said, we get that bump off consistently, and we're just going to hit this running back. I mean, that's going to be something that the user will have to pay attention to himself, and that'll obviously create a lot of other advantages across the field. So like I said, right here, we're going to do, like I said, the B route, that's a good check down as well. I'm not really going to go that way, but you can see, I mean, this guy here, he's just getting open. He's not one of my better receivers necessarily. I think it's Perriman. The pass lead is important too. I don't want to make anything you got to know that this pass lead is really important. I don't know why that zone reacts the way that it reacts. I think it's because of the crossing routes, but you can see the pass lead is really one of the most important things, especially when it comes to this pass. to the outside. I mean, both sides. Anytime you're passing to the outside, you got to bullet, pass, lead away to get them as much space as possible. If you don't bullet and pass and lead away, you're not going to get a ton of space. This used to really work well against cover 4 as well. I mean, it gets outside of most coverages, but you can see like the cornerback stays down and reacts on it a lot better than he has in the past. I feel like you can negate that reaction a little bit if you motion out Evans, which I will do quite a bit in some of the other plays, is motion that receiver out, so they won't necessarily be able to tell. But you can see it'll force that cornerback back. He still reacted to it really well, but it's still going to be a better option. So let's move on to the next play. So to me, my next favorite play is probably the Bucs Z Spot. Mostly, all I really want to do here is put the X route on a flat route and then streak the RB route. I'm still going to be motioning over Jones. If it's a cover 3 like this looks like it might be, that'll still be a really good play. It's actually a blitz. My first read, typically I just want to split the field in half, and my first read is going to be the low route, whichever side of the field I'm on, whether it's the running back on the right side or whether it's Evans on the left side. You can see it's like an instant open route for a good catch and run. I don't necessarily, actually I got to remember, I got to keep flipping over. I don't necessarily think that, you know, there's one's better than the other. I mean, I could easily go to Jones. You know what I mean? Like, if that's the option, that's the option. As you can see, that's a good route too. But to me, if I'm going short, I'm going to Evans. If I see a cover 3, as I keep forgetting to switch over, if I see a cover 3, I'm definitely going to switch over to Evans' side, because you can see how much shorter it is. Like Jones turns up the field, so there's more of a chance of that being a problem. But you can see, like I said, Evans is just so, I actually threw that ball kind of late, but you can see how he gets such a free release by a good 5 or 10 yards on that flat route. And that's mostly because you'll see how much the coverage gets pulled back by the Y route, especially the inside coverage. Like the way he goes inside, you can see he's going to pull a lot of coverage inside, including linebackers and whatnot. I mean, he's just going to do a really good job with that C route, so close to the line of scrimmage. So, like I said, to me, this is another really good option. Obviously, if it's like a cover 2 on the other side, I mean, you have a good high-low concept with those routes. Look at I mean, the RB route though definitely gets up the field and outside quicker, as you can see right there. I mean, he's a really good flat beater. So now I'm just going to go random play, just to show you how you can make these reads. But ultimately, I mean, like I said, the Y route is not really an option too much, but he can get open. You know what I mean? Like, he is a good play depending on the defense. I wouldn't say against man coverage, but he really does find a lot of space. It's kind of a delayed look, but it's a good play. And then I continuously keep motioning out. And like I said, I mean, I could go through these. These are all just really good plays to have in your audibles, but ultimately, you know, this is like I said, I don't know which one of these are my favorite, to be honest with you. They're all really good. I can't really say I have a favorite. So here we have the Y route once again, and that might have been a man coverage. I'm not really sure, but it's a good route on the play without a doubt. One of my most go-to plays in my gameplay videos is the bench. It's just a really easy to read concept play. I typically just want to have the running back on a comeback route. I don't really care for the check and release, but it's okay. I mean, I can keep it in the check and release, but I want to make sure he runs the route, because a lot of times your user opponent will try to cover these outside routes. As I get a bad throw right there, but you see he was open, but a lot of times they'll try to cover these outside routes. They'll see the bench switch concept developing, and that'll essentially give them you know, the center of the field wide open with the running back comeback. So I really want to do that quite a bit. I feel this play is a little bit less effective post-patch, but it's still really good against cover 2. And then obviously your cover 3 beater is going to be Evans or the out routes. So if I want to make this read as simple as possible, cover 2 is Howard and Perriman, cover 3 is Evans and Godwin. I feel like they both really beat man coverage pretty well. Obviously, if you're getting all-out man blitzed, your underneath routes are going to be quicker open. But typically, with the popular defense that people run when they like to run that pinch bucko or whatever, you know, man all-out blitz, the safeties, even if they press, the safeties don't really press too good. So you'll essentially have those Y routes. So like I said right here, I mean, I'm reading high to low, and I'll take whatever I can get. You know what I mean? I'll take the low if that's what's there. If I were to take the same concept as a previous play and put him on a flat beater, that will not beat man coverage, but I still have that option. So if the coverage gets pulled back or you get a cornerback blitz like that, you can see how quickly that gets open. But if it's a man blitz, he's not going to get open. So essentially, you just need to leave it where it is. And then, like I said, the RB route Like I said right there. I mean, anytime you have that man, you see how those safeties, they don't really man very well, but if you press, they don't come all the way down to the point where they're making contact with the receivers either. So even though I'm not simulating it the same way people do online because I'm not using the defense, I know enough from using it online. If they come down and press, if they do press, the safeties don't come down close enough to get into the face of the receivers. And then you can see if it's a cover 3, it still gets outside of cover 3 pretty well too, which is a much slighter window. If you want to, you can borrow concepts from the first 2 plays. You can put Godwin. If you think it's a cover 3, you can put Godwin on a flat. Or if you want to try to get Howard open, you can put Godwin on a streak. You can borrow those concepts because it's essentially a pretty similar look. But I wouldn't mess with the side with Evans and Perriman because that's a much better side. Those guys run the routes a lot better. I'm just not messing with the money side. You can see right there. The only thing that really messes it up is bad throws, which Cam's doing quite a bit. But you have options. You know what I mean? Like if I really want to, I can always streak this guy, try to get the tight end side open to get better against cover 3. You can see there. I mean, obviously Howard's an amazing athletic tight end, so that's going to be a really good play. So you can do all these concepts. They're all translatable. The next play that I would say would be a really good, specialty play is the PA Bucs cross. This is a pretty much just a man beater play. You have some options as far as like cover 2. I mean, your Godwin's route and Perriman's route will be a pretty good combination against cover 2. But typically, I would pick this play if I want to run against man. I'm going to motion out the X route once again. Take away the pass block because that's going to get in the way of timing. But if it's a cover 1 or a cover 0 blitz, I pretty much take away Howard as well if it's a man coverage. Although I guess I can't put him on a pass block, which I typically think that I can do with a tight end close to the line like that. But I guess in this formation I can't pass block him. So I would just put the running back on a pass block. Evans here, it's all a timing route. I can have the option whether to throw it immediately and he'll cut right in front of the man corner a lot like a slant. Or I have the option to hold on to it late. And like I said, pass block that running back so you don't get anything in the timing and in the way of timing as I'm fumbling my words. We're like right there. If he bites like that, you can just hold it and then you can get a really big play to the outside. Now obviously if I had a faster receiver, it might be even more exaggerated than it was. I know that Evans is a really good receiver, but I obviously want a speed guy running it typically. So like I said, he really gets beat 2 different ways. The man corners, if they play off like this, get beat 2 different ways, where they either get beat underneath just like that, or they'll get beat over the top if you hold it long enough. But you have to get, this is more of a, like I said, you have to get a certain look where the cornerback bites. So you might not get that. So to me, it's a little bit safer to wait till he cuts in front and just throw it right away than it is to wait for the look where he shoots in for it. But it's all timing. I mean, it's like I said, it's all timing. I could take that all game if they're running man coverage, off man coverage. If they're pressing, it doesn't necessarily work the same way, but it's still a good play. Like I said, I mean, when I play man coverage blitzing a lot of time, I don't necessarily press. People think that everybody presses man. I don't necessarily do that. There, like I said, it's not a guarantee. I still got it over him though, but it's not a guarantee that he bites or that I get the timing properly. So that's why I said the first variation is a little bit better. So like I said, when I play man coverage, if you've seen my man coverage defense or my game plays, I'm not pressing typically. I really don't. I just find that it works just as good. I typically treat my man coverages like they're the safeties on the play. I don't want to press them to the point where they can just get beat off the line. If they are pressing, a lot of times if they're running that man blitz, if they are pressing and you have a good receiver, you can just streak the play. You know what I mean? So it's like if people do run that a lot where they're pressing, I don't find that necessarily makes it any better. I find it just you can get beat right off the line and hit a home run that way. So it really depends, based off of how good your receiver is or how good your cornerback is. So like I said right there, that was actually, I threw that a little prematurely, and you can see how the results can vary based off of timing of the throw. So the next play that I really think, the last play rather, is the Bucs seams. This play here used to be a lot glitchier than it is now, but ultimately I guess they really had to patch this because it was a really glitchy formation. All I really want to do is take the RB route, put him on some sort of route, typically a streak, just to motion him over. I have to motion him over twice, but I'm going to motion him over, and then I'm going to smart route the Y route. And this is going to be a really big cover 2 play because they have to cover that RB route obviously first. And you can see right here, like Perriman gets outside. If I was a little more to the sideline, that would have been an obvious touchdown. I'll go ahead and I'll move the ball over just a little bit. You just want to know where you are in the field. Any advantage you can get to the open side, the better. You can get a similar effect by putting the X route on a streak and then smart routing the the Y route. If I do this, I can at least leave the running back to pass block, but I don't find it works necessarily as good. I mean, you still get, if you get a good pass lead, you can still get outside. I just find that the running back, it gets a much better reaction, mostly because the running back is at the line of scrimmage, which is part of the reason that the safety has to drop back even further. Like I said, he just got a little bit of an advantage to as far as position, pulling the safety inside, and he has a little bit of an advantage as far as speed goes, because he's just going to get up the field right away. But then, like I said, you really have to worry about, you know, and then I keep getting, even though I'm to the sideline, I'm still not getting the best throws to turn upfield for a touchdown. But the pass rush is a little bit more of a concern if you don't have the running back blocking. So that's really the only thing. But it's really up to you. I mean, if they're playing off cover 2, they're not really sending blitzes, this will be a better way. So, you know, it's really up to you. If you want to use one way or the other, you have your two options. So like I said, a blitzing cover 2, might want to block the running back. The throwing window to me is a little bit slighter. As you can see right there, I have to pass lead it outside more, but it's still there. I just don't have the option to turn, catch, and run. But with that, I mean, this is definitely just a straight up cover 2 play. See right there, if I throw it too early, the coverage is there. You know what I'm saying? So even the pass blocking the running back didn't help me on that play. So in my opinion, just, you know, this is the better way to go. And you could always just, like Evans, I'm not really sure he's necessarily doing anything, so I could always put him on that flat. If it's a cover 3, I still like that cover 3 flat concept. Pulls that cornerback down pretty good anyway. And then, you know, like I said, the pass lead's really the thing if I'm going to be house calling it or not. So starting off, like I said, I'm pretty sure I showed this against cover 2. It's a really good cover 2 play. But today I'm going to show how this is going to be a really good cover 3 play. And maybe I'll throw in cover 2 here in a minute. But without a doubt, like I said, this play, I've been messing with this play since the game came out. It's definitely very glitchy. It used to be really glitchy in a lot of different ways. But now, all I got to do is motion out this receiver, which will get the user's attention, by the way, which is, you know, that's an added bonus. A lot of times, users will follow the play. And it's also going to play off some of the plays that I show you here in a minute. But that motion should give away, at least your opponent will think, give away where the play is going. Then all I'm going to do is streak the A and the Y route. That's it. Block the running back because obviously I have DeMarcus Lawrence on the other side. I'm sure he'll mess up a play or two. But this is pretty much it. This is all I got to do. I put my fastest receiver at the Y route. That's going to be important. Like I said right there, DeMarcus Lawrence is bearing down on me. That's about the only thing that can mess this play up is timing from pressure. And DeMarcus Lawrence against this offensive line is a bad combination. But if you have just a little bit of adequate time, I'm going to go ahead and slide my protection. I could double DeMarcus Lawrence, but I'm not going to do that. Maybe I will. I'll just double him entirely based off of the fact that he's just going to wreck this entire video if I don't. So, like I said, get a little bit more time, and I don't necessarily want to double him. That was not as wide open. He'll get even more wide open than that, but doubling him obviously leaves me open. So my biggest issue with this play is definitely going to be pass rush if you have an elite pass rusher like DeMarcus Lawrence. So I just have to buy time. But you can see, like I said, this is just an explosive cover 3 seam play. To beat cover 3 now, all you really need is to spread the cover 3 out, have some guys in tight that work the seams, and you're going to see how that works. You can also fade. You know, you can fade the Y route, but like I said, one more time, I think I'm gonna have to put DeMarcus Lawrence on a double. I think I'm just gonna have to do that, which sucks because, like I said, now I'm gonna have to worry about the left side, and my left tackle ain't much better. So, like I said, you can just see how he's just getting straight pass. I'm bullet passing and leading away from the free safety. By the way, let's go ahead and let's watch the replay. I'm pretty sure I'm going at their best cornerback too, if I'm not mistaken. I think Byron Jones is number 31. Let's go ahead and let's flip that around and find out. Yes, it is. So we have their best cornerback there. He's a superstar. He should be a little bit better. I'm on all Madden too, by the way. I'll show you that in a minute. But he should do a little bit better. You know, sometimes these superstar players can really just be kind of glitchy and do stuff that like normally, you know, normal corners wouldn't do. And you can just see the way this play's set up. I don't know why, but it's because of the route that Evans is running. That you can see he just turns with Evans. The second Evans turns, just takes enough of his attention away and messes up his back pedal that it's that old adage in the NFL, if you're even, you're leaving. And sure enough, we're leaving. You know what I'm saying? We're going to the outside. We're just bulleting and pass leading away. You can see right here when he turns his hips like that, that means that I'm already doing my bullet pass and leading away, which is why he's doing that. So he's got that room up the middle. Like I said, I'll just try to get that in a little bit more. He's right there. Like I said, I got nothing but space over here because that guy, he left his back pedal, or he left his, he had to turn around just because of that route underneath, which is extremely covered, by the way, which makes no sense. You know what I mean? Like, he is covered. Why would he be following this? He's got double coverage. I mean, that's extreme amount of respect to Mike Evans to just let this guy hit you for a home run. And then once again, too, this guy here, he's just being split by the two. I have two streaking guys, so he's being split. Now, I can't necessarily throw it over here. I mean, I can, but since that's my tight end, he's not as fast. Typically, that's not going to have as good of a result as throwing to my fastest receiver. So you could go either side of the ball, but realistically, I mean, you can see the safety's he's even a little bit closer to the right than he is to the left, which is what makes it successful. I want him to pay more attention to that tight end, and that way I can throw away from him to get a really big play. But you're going to see some serious separation. So, like I said, we have. I'll go ahead and I'll put Mike Evans back, or whoever. I'll just put Chris Godwin back there, who's probably a little bit better. If we can get him up. We're going to switch our personnel around. And now we have Chris Godwin. I don't know if he's that fast, but I know he's faster than Mike Evans. So, like I said, if you don't have that play in your favorite playbook, you probably have something similar to the Bucs Post, which is another play that has pretty much the exact same setup. So we'll pick that, do the exact same trick. So this is pretty much the exact same setup. Motion out Evans, just streak everybody, block the running back, and you're going to see I have pretty much the exact same play, just as long as I have the time, which has been a consistent issue. And then, like I said, it doesn't really matter. You don't need Brashad Perriman, who's like a 97 speed to run this. You can have anybody running this. I'll show this exact same setup. You can create this play from pretty much just a base setup. Like, you could take just any tight formation and create this play. It's not specific to this particular thing. What helps, I mean, the route that I had to throw a little bit early, but the out route that the X route's running really helps. So another play with a very similar concept that I like to do this with is the mesh. I'll go ahead and I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is really if your opponent picks up on what you're doing. So let's pick that. On the previous play, I would motion out the receiver on the opposite side of where the play was going. Where on this particular play, I'm motioning him out on the side that is going this time. So now that I'm motioning him out, like I said, it makes your opponent up. If your opponent starts figuring it out based off of the first play, because on the first play, I'm throwing opposite of the motion. Now I'm going to be throwing it to the side of the motion, so I really have it so I'm not really giving away what I'm doing. So like I said, what I'm going to do, I'm going to motion out Perriman, going to put him on an out route and then smart route him, and then I can just streak the B route, or I don't really have to be honest with you. Like, the B route's kind of whatever I want him to be, but I find that streaking makes the most sense. And now Godwin's going to be it's still going to be the home run route, just as long as I get the time in the pocket. And like I said, you can see right there, it's the exact same setup as before, but you're doing it to the opposite side, so your opponent can never really pick you out. So I'm going to motion Perriman out one more time. Like I said, it's the formation, it's the spacing of the receivers, it's the route that Godwin's running. Really what makes this play a little bit, easier to get wide because of what he's running. And then ultimately I got to get a good pass. but you can see I can pretty much just float it up to my speed receiver. So this last play probably does the best out of all of them as far as pulling coverage down, and that's the PA Bucs cross. Once again, there's going to be this play under different names in different books, but I'll go ahead and I'll pick that at the bottom, and then we'll keep going with the random cover 3. So for whatever reason, this the more movement, the better. I'm going to motion out this, this kind of stop and go route that's going on. I'm not too sure the name of it, but if I do that exact same thing, put the Y route on a fade just so he kind of gets a little bit further away from the safety, and then streak Howard, block the running back. Pretty much the exact same setup, but watch how the cover 3 cornerback really just takes the bait on that one. I get a bad throw there, but compared to some of the other plays, let's take a look at the separation. That route probably does better than all of the routes as far as baiting this cornerback. You can see the depth that he gets is nothing compared to other plays where he's probably back another 5 yards, where that route really just pulls it. I mean, he's not a route that's an option at all, but you can see how the spacing works to get this receiver open. Once again, I'd probably be better off having my speed receiver there, but you can see the spacing difference. We'll go ahead and run it a few more times. So, same setup. There's nothing really special about it. Like I said, I'm fading Evans, though. I just want that little bit more separation. And then, So, same setup, ideally. I mean, it's pretty much the exact same concept. only that route does a much better job of pulling that cover 3 cornerback because it has so much work, and then you're just kind of bullet and pass leading away. I really wish I could bullet and pass lead away more. I wish that he was running the same route that he was during the mesh play, which was really one of the better routes. But like I said, you can't really compare when it comes to what that route on the outside is doing. So like I said, I could throw this way earlier too. I don't even have to wait till it gets too deep, but you can see how it gets caught. So ultimately, that's kind of an issue. But like I said, you can see there's way more. There's no way that cornerback on the outside there can catch up like he could have in some of the other plays. So like I said, pass leading. If I bullet it, it's kind of harder to lead it outside than if I lob it, because I have more of an ability as far as the pass goes to get it out there. So it's going to let's do this one more time. Like I said, I just got to buy enough time that I can just lob it to space. You know, he's catching up there. I mean, I probably threw it a little bit too early. Like if I'm gonna throw that out, I probably want to bullet it. So you can pretty much create these you know, this type of home run play against cover 3 against with just about any one of these plays. There's so many different options. So that's it. That's the vid. If you guys want to see more from the Bucs, do me a favor with the like button. I'll do that next. Other than that, thanks for watching, man. My shit out.
Need more help or just want to show your support? Then head over to my Patreon and join my team, where you can get exclusive content like ebooks and bonus plays, as well as early access to my vids and more. Link in the description below.